Hello everybody, welcome to Woo Art. As I already announced, we are going to make a slash and heat effect today. The process will be the same as the previous video, making meshes, textures, and setting up Unity particles. This video is slightly longer than usual, so let's start right away. Okay, make the meshes first. Create the circle shape. The size doesn't matter because we'll adjust it on Unity. Create a plane. Move it to the center. Add the following modifiers: Vertex Paint, Unwrap UVW, and FFD Box. The last modifier is the Path Deform. Pick the circle, change axis and adjust the properties. Okay, moving on to the Vertex Paint. It's the same as what we did in the last video. Just paint black color on the both ends in the alpha channel. If you haven't checked the previous one, I recommend you watch it. I don't want to bore you by repeating the basics. Okay, and just make sure that the very ends are completely black. It'll make the texture disappear smoothly. The next thing to do is adjust the UVW map. It's divided evenly by default. Let's adjust it to make the texture flow dynamically. You can use soft selection here as well. We're going to use the bottom half for the texture. So half the entire UV map after adjusting, and place it in the upper area. The UV map is upside down right now. Since the texture will move from the bottom, we need to flip it vertically. Select the entire map and click and hold this button. If you release your mouse here, the map will be flipped. Okay, cool. The last thing is the FFD box. Just change the width of the meshes. Make the copy and collapse every modifiers on the copied one. Yeah, it's done. Let's make the textures. We're gonna make the texture for the slash first. This is the composition setting. Create the solid layer. Add a fractal noise on this layer. Make it look like an energy field. Add a CC vector blur. The texture will be stretched vertically, so you'd better adjust the ratio. Squeeze it. Let's distort it a little bit more by a wave 1. Choose smooth noise. Add the levels on top of them. Alright, duplicate the layer and let's mix both layers. Change the blending mode and adjust the effects. Good, create an adjustment layer. Add a directional blur to this layer. Okay, I'm gonna put a gradient mask on top. It'll fade out the detail nicely. Blur the mask boundary. Change the blending mode. Duplicate the mask layer and use it for the background gradient. Change the blending mode. Let's add a head part in front of the texture. blur the boundary. Okay, emphasize the head part a bit more. The bottom line is too obvious. It might be better to use the gradient fill mode. Yeah, like this. Okay, adjust the overall feeling. The noise is diminished too early. I've got to adjust the mask. Okay, better now. Let's deform this texture. As I already told you, I'm gonna put the texture in the bottom half area. Change the mesh setting and move the point. The left side is the inside of the slash meshes, so deform it like this, and add a line on the right side to emphasize its boundary. Even though this is mostly about practicing VFX, you'd better make a habit of giving clear information by any effect. In this case, it should have a clear information of the range of slashing. That's why we are emphasizing its borderline. You know that VFX is not only about the visual enjoyment, it provides crucial information about the gameplay. So the readability is the heart of the VFX. Okay, the fundamentals are done. Let's adjust the overall feeling. You can make something suit your own taste. Okay, nice. The slash texture is done. Let's move on to the heat texture. The comp setting is the same. Create a solid layer. Double-click it to mask the layer. Then you can modify its path. We're gonna make something like a pointed oval shape. Add a roughened edges effect. Adjust the properties like this. Okay, put this comp into the another comp and change its width. Open up one more comp viewer and move back to the texture. I'm gonna make it a bit sharper. The overall outline isn't sharp enough, so let's add some more effects. Okay, it's better now. I'm gonna add some holes to break the boringly constant outline. Just put it in the place you want. Duplicate it and place them here and there. Adjust the scale a bit. And done. Moving on to the last texture. This comp is smaller than previous ones. Create an ellipse layer. Decrease the size. I'm gonna make 4 different shapes for each frame. You don't need to copy the exact same values, just make something distinctively different. Okay, let's add my favorite effect, the roughened edges. Make the shapes look like shattered fragments. Give a different evolution value per each frame. Okay, let's add a hole. Cool, make a new composition with this comp. Enlarge the comp size. I'm gonna make a sprite sheet. Duplicate the same comp 3 times and put it in the each corner. Okay, and activate the time remapping. Delete every second frame and change the values of the first frames. So each comp shows the different frame 1 to 4. Adjust the texture a bit more. Choose all comps and duplicate. Create an adjustment layer and add a blur effect. This is the way of adding glow. Adjust the details. Okay, it's done. Finally, it's time to move on to Unity. Put every asset into the work folder. Let's make the slash effect first. Create the new material. Change the shader and put the texture. Okay, create the particle system. I doubled the play speed to skip the boring part, so keep in mind that the previous scene would look faster than actually it is. I'll let you know when it's in the normal speed. Since we are using the same shader, you have to activate the custom vertex stream and put the 80% value to make it work properly. The process is quite similar to the previous one, right? We'll generate the slash particle really shortly. Imagine a typical attack animation and align this mesh. Okay, let's change the color. Adjust the intensity. This is the normal speed. Okay, it's right. Let's make a container. As I explained before, it makes it easier to check the effect. Turn off every parameter and put the particle. Rotate it slightly to make it look more dynamic. I'd rather use the graph type than the constant velocity, so it moves fast at the beginning and gets slower over time. Okay, cool. I'm gonna duplicate the slash effect to make a lingering effect. It basically works in the same way, but remains a bit longer and rotates more. You should change the color as well. To give a nice and vibrant color, let's use a purple-ish color. If you want to check the detail, you can slow the playback speed and see the effect in a slower speed. Okay, it's normal speed. Not bad. Moving on to the other stuff. We can come back later. Let's make a particle for the cross flare. Create a new material. It'll use the additive shader and put the dot texture. This particle should appear very shortly. You need to put a delay because it should emit the particle when the slash hit the target. Check the 3D start size checkbox and stretch it vertically. Rotate it a little. Place it to the hit point. I want to speed up the slash to give a stronger impact. Okay, duplicate the flare for another axis. I'm gonna decrease its size to avoid a direct ratio. That's just boring. I want to adjust the detail before move on to the next particle. Okay, let's animate the size over a lifetime. I'm gonna give a different graph to each axis for giving a nice tension. So it's stretched and squeezed. Do the same thing for the other flare. Okay, nice. Adjust the position a little. Time to add a glow. Create the glow material. Ooh, I forgot to take out the glow texture. You don't need to worry, you'll be able to download these extra textures. Okay, let's make something flashing. Duplicate one more for the ambient glow. Make it dimmer. It still feels slow. Let's speed up a bit. Okay, add a Blackhead effect behind the flash. Create the material with the alpha blended shader. This kind of an opaque dark effect is very useful to make other effects more visible, especially when you put an effect on the background with a bright color. So it's similar to the flare effect but black. This is an extreme way of emphasizing effect, so make it even shorter than other flares. Contrary to the additive flares, I'd recommend to change the size graph. If it animates too dynamically, it could be too distracting, so it rather appears shortly with a little bit of movement. Okay, let's add some gas after heat. Make material for the gas. I'm gonna use a cone for the shape of this effect. The heat energy generates gas, so you should align the movement of gas with the direction of slashing. Give two different gradients for the gas. One with a bluish color, another one with a purplish color. And decelerate the speed over lifetime. It's gas, so I would give a little bit of negative gravity. Place it in the more precise position. Okay, it looks fine. The last thing what I need is debris. Let's move on. I'm gonna make bigger debris first. Put the material and turn on the texture sheet animation property. It's 2x2 sprite sheet, so you should divide it. change the tiles value and the frame over time graph. If you change it like this, then the texture doesn't move. Okay, change the size over a lifetime. Give a little bit of energy along with the direction of slash. Okay, it moves nicely. We're going to add small embers. We already made a similar ember effect in the previous video, so if you're not sure, you can get information from the video. The main differences are the shape and the noise, so I'm gonna fast forward it. My goal is to not make a video with a longer play time than 30 minutes. 10 minutes of tutorial video is already super long. But as you can see, it's really hard to explain everything in a short period of time when it comes to VFX. So I hope you wouldn't mind. Okay, this is normal speed again. I think there is a room to improve, so let's polish over feeling. I want to give a stronger impact by exaggerating some of them. Okay, this is the final version of the effect. How do you feel about the process? I'm hoping you enjoyed this. This video ends here. If you want to see the next video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Every comment and feedback mean a lot to me. Okay, then see you in the next video. Bye!